Welcome to AI Hard Hats, podcast where we talk with real contractors using real tools to work smarter, not harder, in the age of AI. I'm your host, David Slivinski, former senior project manager and a commercial roofing turned AI contractor strategist. Today's guest is someone who's raising the bar for roofing sales across the country. Joining me is Noah Williams, founder of Home Doctor Sales System, guy behind what he calls the All Side Way, a collection of over 1,500 documented processes. It's changing how roofing companies sell, scale, and lead. Today, we're talking about raising the standard, how to build sales teams with purpose, proven systems, and the mindset needed to double revenue the right way. Noah, great to have you here, man.
Hey, great to be here, David. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
So,
excellent.
yeah, this is where are you guys based out of?
Jacksonville Beach.
Jacksonville Beach. Dude,
Yes.
let's go. Let's go. That's sick, dude. I used to be in Cape Coral. I miss Florida, dude. I miss Florida.
Yeah,
Roofing
probably
down there
this
is
time of
different.
year even more, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have they gotten hit with a storm yet?
We have not had any big hurricanes this year.
That's what I'm thinking. I
Not
know,
even
like
like not even a good tropical storm.
I know all the like chats are like, we need a storm, we need a storm, give me a storm.
You know the storm chasing drill.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, for sure. That's for sure. So
Well,
it's
let's start from the top. Your journey is one of those rare ones where frustration has turned into innovation.
yeah,
Walk us through it from
yeah,
running all side roofing to creating the home doctor sales system.
yeah. So I mean, I'll start like a little bit back before that. We'll go back to like right out of high school. I was supposed to go to college, wanted to play college baseball and study to be an attorney. That was, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Signed my letter of intent to go play at a small community college, and then started to knock on doors and realized like, hey, I'm making some money here doing this throughout the summer. And then had an unfortunate event where I had a partial tear in my UCL. Got told, hey, you need to kind of chill out here. And I got a little bit scared at the time. I didn't really know what to do. So I kind of fell back to what I knew I could do, which was knocking on doors, and started working for a company out of Columbus, Ohio. They were about 3 to 5 million. They would fluctuate 3 to 5 million, 3 to 5 million. They've been in business for about 20 years. And then right around the time when I started, they brought in a sales trainer that's pretty well known around the industry. And that guy and I got pretty close, and they started calling me Rudy Poo Poo. So like I was this kid that's, dude, before I had the beard, like I wear the beard now because without the beard, I look like I'm 12 years old. Like it's not like it was bad. Like I'll have to like send you over a picture before you can like edit it into this at some point. But like, dude, I was a baby when I was selling, and I hated it. Like I would go up to people and like, I'd knock on the door and people would look behind me and they would think that somebody else was coming with me. Like you're just the guy that's gonna hold the tape measure. Like,
Well,
no,
hey,
like I'm
at
the
least
guy
you weren't
that's like here
intimidating.
looking at everything. So what'd you say?
I said at least you weren't intimidating.
Yeah, exactly. Right,
Yeah,
right. And then like what I started to do was use that to my advantage, right?
yeah.
Realize like being vulnerable and not knowing everything sometimes is good. Like, you don't have to know every single thing. That's not what it's about when it comes to sales. It comes to you forming trust with the homeowner. You need to trust that homeowner, and that homeowner needs to trust you. That's the first thing that you have to do. So, how do you do that? You do that by being yourself, by being authentic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's a certain like tone, there's a certain frequency that gets emitted. And I'm not sure how much research you've done in this, but like when people are authentic, when they know that you're being real, people just can sense that energy a little different. So from a young age, I had learned to have those conversations, and it's like kind of the basis of all conversations. Like, how do you just be yourself and know that like I don't care if this homeowner is going to look at me like I'm young. Like, yeah, dude, yeah, I know I look like I'm 12, dude. It's crazy. You're not the only person to say that. But what if I were told you like winner, winner, chicken dinner? You're the third person to say that today.
Yeah.
Like, there we go.
Well, you touch on a, an interesting topic there that, this business is still very much a relationship-based business and built
Yeah.
on trust, especially given our industry standards, shall we say. I don't know how it works in Ohio, but there's areas in my neck of the woods where
There's no
you don't even need a
standard.
license.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it is. That is exactly how it is in Ohio. There's 0 license. Anybody can be a roofer. Congratulations. Like, it
Yeah.
is that simple to do it.
Yep. And so you're constantly fighting prices, and how do you differentiate yourself from a low baller to a service that is top notch,
How does Mercedes establish themselves differently than Honda?
Mhm.
Period. Go to Mercedes website, go to Honda's website. Look at the
Well,
2 differences.
yeah, exactly.
It's
Well,
how
besides
you
price.
correct. It's how you establish yourself right away. That was where I came up with the all side way. When I was in Florida working for that roofing company, I moved down there when I was 22. This was back in 21. So January 21, moved down there, bought a pool house. Our plan was to get a retail market set up before a hurricane came and hit Cape Coral. So that was a year before Ian.
Okay.
Dude, yeah, dude. Like, we set up shop right where Ian, like, smacked through. It was
Wasn't
crazy.
Ian, that was just a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Couple years ago,
Yeah,
exactly. So
okay.
this is all, like, just recently. So I set up this location for this company in Cape Coral before, Ian came through. Had a realization like, hey, I need to step away. I'm never really going to grow in the terms and personally the way that I want to grow. There were some things I didn't agree with, that neither here nor there, but sold my pool house down there and then moved back up. But like, that was before Ian came through. Ian came through after I was up in Ohio. Like, I was
Oh,
already up in Ohio. I had already started my roofing company. Like, that came through, which was perfect. Like, that was exactly the plan. I'm like, let's go. I think that, like, let's go. Like, set it up, eat shop, let's go. Um, but when I started my company, the goal was to do it different. Like, how do you establish a brand right away that people think, man, like, what is that? The all side way. The all side way. That's just the way that we do things. It's better than everybody else. The all side way. The all side way. So we took that phrase and we trademarked that. And then we put that on every billboard, on every truck. Every time we talked, it was about the all side way. We didn't put roofs on. We delivered the all side way experience. Roofing was just a byproduct.
I gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. So you were a roofing company that was an elite sales organization.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what roofing companies need to start looking at their business like. You're not a roofing company. You are a lead sales organization. What type of organization are you? If you are a electrician, what type of business is an electrician? They're service
Yep.
based,
Yep.
recurring. Leads matter, but it's more service. So
Absolutely.
understanding the difference, like, for some reason that flies over roofers. They're just like, go sell roofs, knock doors, sell roofs, sign contingency, knock door, sell roof, sign contingency, knock more door, knock more door. Like, that's it. There's nothing else. Well, how do you knock the door? How
Right.
do you have the conversation?
Yeah. What happens when they open the door if you're lucky enough to get there?
Right. And
Yeah.
see, when you know that most roofers are already going to come out and be cheap, you can prepare for that because there's only one Mercedes. There's only one. Honda, Ford, Mazda. Go get your bids. Sure. Go get your bids. They'll collect your numbers. They're all going to be the same.
Very true.
Do you want the same or do you want different?
Well,
And it's
let's
about being able to ask the homeowner that, right?
yeah.
Does the homeowner want just the same roof? Maybe. Do they even really know what that was? Do they know what the experience is going to be like? Maybe. David, how many roofs does the average homeowner replace a year? or sorry, how many times does a homeowner replace a roof in their life?
Probably once.
Once,
At
twice.
least in the house, at least in one house, I would say.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. 1 or 2. So you think a homeowner, like, they don't really know what that's like. So why do they go and why do they get estimates? Because they're unfamiliar with it.
Yeah, they don't know.
How do you get the homeowner familiar with the process and make sure that they, like, can feel like they're familiar with it?
Mhm.
So what you explain and how you explain it and the time that you explain it in the conversation.
It's a bit of an education,
It is.
and that's probably part of the sales, right? Which kinda leads us into the mechanics of it. I mean, home doctor system is more than a mindset. It's there's a structure, there's a process, and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
scale.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So you have your basic technique. Your technique is the formula that you follow when you get into a home, right? Door knocking and starting a conversation that way is a little bit different. Your sales appointment, your conversation, your demo, when you start to sit down and explain to a homeowner what they need to do, whether they call you out or you knock the door, created urgency, and came back, like, you have a very specific formula that needs to go if you're going to be able to switch their paradigm to, I want to work with that guy regardless of what these other guys say. I don't care how cheap they are, and I don't care how expensive he is. I just want to work with him. You first have to establish that belief. So it starts in trust. The technique is the 9 step. 9 step. It's an acronym. Trust building is the first step. We call it bi-directional trust, and then going 3 levels into the conversation. So what that means is we want the homeowner to teach us something about something, about something, about something that we didn't ask them about. Yes,
And what's the best way to allow that to happen?
just by asking questions.
Yeah,
Simply
asking
asking
questions
questions. It's
and
like, what was the
listening.
best way for you? What was the best way for you guys to ask questions in your business in Cinemark?
It's the same type of structure where, in the commercial roofing aspect, you're dealing with a little different type of customer.
Okay.
So when you're in the home sales, you're dealing with the general public, and like you say, 9 times out of
Okay.
10, they really don't know a whole lot about roofing. If
Okay.
anything, maybe their insurance company said, "Hey, you know what? You need to replace your roof like they do here in Florida every 15 years. Insurance will drop you if you don't replace your roof."
So stop, pause right there. That was, you just taught me something about something about something about something that I didn't ask you about, right?
There you go.
Just that,
Yeah, I'm a
right?
blabber,
But it's
and
understanding,
most people are.
but it's being able to recognize, like, under the table, I'm going, okay, I'm 1 level in, now I'm 2 levels in, now I'm 3 levels in. Okay,
Yeah,
boom. He trusts me now. How can you teach people how to have conversations? It's by being able to teach people little signs like, hey, the sentence here, this is exactly what was said. Here's how it was said. When I asked you how you ask questions, you said, well, Cinemark's different. We only mostly did commercial. I didn't ask you if you only did commercial. Taught me that. Perfect. Then you started to get into the next topic. Then you went into the next topic. Perfect. Great. Now, as a rep, I need to be able to recognize, is that guy full of shit or is that guy being honest?
mhm,
Right? Because that's where the bi-directional comes in. Do
yeah,
I
well,
trust what he's saying?
so this is just like a small little sliver of the sales
Exactly.
process, but, you have documented over, what, 1,500 SOPs?
Yeah, 1,500 SOPs for the roofing business. The med school, sales med school, is
Oh,
around
okay,
140 videos. That's like specifically the training on how to develop the mindset and execution of the sales process. And then people can buy that course after they get into it. We have other programs that we call resets, where we'll start to work with their team through weekly programs, weekly coaching calls, just to get them familiar with certain parts of that process.
gotcha. How do you, How do you keep the structure from killing creativity or flexibility in the field, especially with, that amount of there's a lot to kind of keep in your head and in the
What's
forefront as you're talking to people.
when I'm talking to people, that there's two in what way, I guess?
Well, first of all, how do you relay that to a rep without, you know, you need to be able to give them some freedom, but you have a structured process. So how do you convey the fact
There's
that,
5 questions that they have to ask word for word, that's it.
okay, and then the
That's it.
rest you let
The
it
rest is
flow.
up to them. Now, we're gonna be taking temperature gauges, and we're gonna be looking for certain things. Like, there's things that they have to do, but past that, like, it's just the coaching and the guidance after the fact that really helps them get better. Like, I've made tools that record the appointments, and then our AI transcribes it and analyzes it based on the technique. So our sales reps can get recurring feedback on their appointment. They just have to be willing to recognize it and be open to, dude, man, I could have said that different. Huh. Maybe
And do
I
you use
didn't come
AI
across that way. Yes.
to analyze the sales call?
Yes.
Okay. And
Correct.
are you able to implement that like in a face-to-face situation, or is it
Yes.
just okay,
Yes. That's what we use it for. It's for the face to face situations.
interesting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what tool is that?
Yeah. It's called Verlo. It's my
Okay.
tool. So it's kind of like Rilla and Zero, but it's a tool that I built and we're working on launching it. And
Okay, so this is something that you
yeah,
put together yourself.
yep,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
Okay.
based on the home doctor technique. What I realized about all these other ones is that they're reading a base knowledge of everything with the AI. And like in order to dial it down, you almost have to like strip off all the knowledge to start with a new knowledge source. And that's basically what I did. So like our all of the 1,500 training videos that I have for the roofing business are all plugged into a, a model that has an AI inside of it that our team members can go in, figure out how to use this process, do this process, work job Nimbus, invoice a homeowner or whatever. But then the reps are really focused on their conversations. Like our goal is to get the sales reps to focus on conversation and contact and not any of the noise on the back end. Like, I don't want my reps doing any paperwork. I don't want them having to do follow ups. Like, I want that to be an inside sales rep. I want that to be an automated system. Like, your reps should not be focused on paperwork, estimates, details. Like, that's not what a good rep is going to be great at. The great reps are going to be the reps that know how to have a conversation, know how to switch a paradigm, know how to follow a structure, and then just do that every time.
So
Not overwhelming them. It's not giving them everything, right? Like that's 1,500 for like everything. Like there's 500 for sales reps that gets drip fed over to them in the first 4 weeks of their training, like very specific videos at very specific times. And I think that's really like everything, right? Timing is everything. If you're going to implement a new system, a new process, a new anything into your business, you've got to know the time and how you're going to do it. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to like buy a sales training. Congratulations. It's all going to work. Like, nope. Like you kind of everybody's in a different level. So brand new reps are really easy to work with if they've never had roofing sales experience. But reps that have experience, they go through a reset. Like they have to
yeah,
have a sales hard reset. And then they also have to have an identity reset, which are also like those are both programs that we run reps through that kind of give them what they need to get into the sales mindset to be a home doctor and not a roofer because it's two different things. It's
very
two
good.
different things.
Yeah, home doctor, roofer. Gotcha. As a consultant, and you touched on something there that is interesting. You're going into any type of roofing company, and they probably have their own processes and everything put in place. How
Oh
do you
yeah.
work around that?
So the ways that I used to work around it was like, hey guys, you just need to get on board with it. This is like just something you got to do. Figuring out, and really that was because of how I structured our agreements beforehand. Before I was working off revenue share and like I had more kind of like more power over some of the employees and more control over what was happening. So like I had to make some things happen in order for us to be able to make our money and do what we needed to. So changing things was more like quick in some of those aspects. The way currently is figuring out what's working, what's not working, right?
Yeah.
Like, what I don't wanna do is I don't wanna go in and do, like, full business consulting. I'm not doing full business consulting. I'll do coaching. Like, if guys want to pay me to coach them, I'll coach them in areas, but I'm not gonna go in and consult every aspect of your business because it really takes, like, somebody that's able to coach and be able to bring in and connect you with the right people, right? You need somebody that is able to do marketing really well. You need somebody that's able to do processes and someone that can do the KPI, but it's knowing like how do you connect the dots on all those when you don't even have the vision to do that. And that's where a coach comes in. And that's where the I'm realizing I'm more of a consultant when it comes to sales processes, sales training, and more of a coach when it comes to more of the other business processes.
Gotcha. How often do you go into a company and find that the sales reps are responsible for everything that you said you don't want
Quite
a
a bit.
sales rep to be
Quite a
doing?
bit. Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, quite a bit, and then there's companies that I've worked with for a year that I worked with for a year, they're no longer my clients, but, like, their reps were doing it and still doing it the whole time, and I'm screaming out loud like, "Hey, this is why your reps feel overloaded. This is why they" and they don't wanna go tell you that. They're never gonna go tell you, "Man, this is just too much."
Well, they'll just quit. You know,
They'll
that's
quit.
retention.
That's what they do. They walk away, they quit, they don't want to face the tension themselves, and the owner doesn't go and get ahead of it like, "Hey, dude, what happened?
Mhm.
Why'd you quit? Really? No, no, I'm not gonna take that. Like, what really happened?"
It's a good point. It's a good
Nobody wants
point.
to know
It's
the real reason
o
why.
overwhelmed, trying to be everything at once. You're not an estimator. You're not gonna be a good salesperson if you're constantly trying to be an estimator.
Yeah, 2 different things. It's
Yeah,
2 like,
absolutely.
the, like, I love master your craft and, like, what those guys are doing for the industry, how they're sticking up to the insurances, but they're not teaching guys how to sell. And I talk to a lot of guys. They're like, "Well, we sell this. This is how I argue with the insurance. This is how I do this." Like that's not selling. Like you kind of are kind of crossing the line just a little tad, and like and it's it's funny. Like it really is. Like guys, you're being a public adjuster without being a public adjuster,
Yeah.
and you really are. You're walking the gray line, right in the gray line, but you're not selling. What you're doing is you're kind of forcing somebody. Do you
You
ever
know,
wanna feel forced?
even those guys need to be sold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, correct.
Well, before we wrap up, I wanna talk about where this all goes next. The tech, automation, see, you're very techy. You already have an automation system in place for sales, which is
Yep,
super interesting. What do you
yep.
see coming down the road as far
I think
as all
I
that
think
is concerned?
honestly, I think that down the line you're gonna have I think every sales conversation is gonna go virtual. Like, I don't think you're gonna have a lot of people that want to go meet with people face to face.
Hmm.
I think they're gonna naturally want that. So you're gonna have to be able to be set up to give virtual inspections, virtual appointments. So thinking about like how you do that, right? How can you give homeowners tools that they can do their own attic inspection? How can you like send them a little inspection kit and mailbox it to them? They pay you 150 bucks, they get their own little tools, but now you've got a lead and then they're doing their own inspection. Like I think there's going to be a lot more like dynamic ways to get sales. But then that being said, the need for human relations is going to be more and more. Like
Yeah, yeah, I don't
the need to make these tools human like, the want to be involved in building these out, like not running away from it, but being like, how do I jump into it and how do I start figuring it out for my business, for my reps? Like, how can I make a system that automates my sales? How can I make a system that does this? Like, if you have a question, you now can do it. Like, go to ChatGPT, ask the question, and then congratulations, you now have your answer. Like, it's that easy.
Yeah.
And there's people nowadays that are going to come out and blow roofers out of the water, and I think there's a bigger need for roofers that do the right work to stand up and figure the tech out. Like, these guys that have been in business for 50 to 75 years that still don't have a CRM, like, dude, come on, we need you in the industry, man. Like, you can't go out of business because these yahoos that are going to get in are going to screw everybody over. Like, level up here, please. Like, for the sake of roofing, for the sake of like all the young generation that doesn't want to be in roofing because of the disgustingness that comes with it, let's change it, do different.
Yeah. Yeah. Sales, I think will, like you say, always have a human element to it.
Always be a human element.
Will AI and technology enhance that? Absolutely. I don't think
Yes,
there's any question about that.
correct.
And if you're not going to adapt, you're going to get left behind.
Big time,
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah. Fast forward 10 years. What does a high performing roofing sales team look like? I think you already touched on it.
Yeah, I think in 10 years you're gonna have honestly, I think you're gonna have drones that are gonna be flying out to the roofs, doing the inspections. You're gonna have a little toolkit get sent to the homeowner. They're gonna pop up in the attic. They're gonna do their inspection. They're gonna write a little scorecard out. That scorecard's gonna get emailed in. AI is gonna take that scorecard. They're gonna prepare an estimate. That's gonna go over to an AI clone. I think a clone will have like an initial conversation. Honestly, I really feel like 10 years you're gonna have clones running your sales conversations, and then you're going to have somebody that's managing the clone, and like it's going to be nuts.
Interesting. What's your favorite sales tool or tech that you use daily?
Honestly, for me, it's whale. It's the roofer advancement collection. I mean, I use my like AI all the time. Yeah, like the Captain Clarity, our AI inside of it, like I use him all the freaking time.
Interesting. Interesting. What's the and I know that we've definitely talked about this and touched on it in a bunch of different ways, but just to kind of bring it home, what's the biggest myth about roofing sales?
The biggest myth about roofing sales is that it's a lot of work.
We're selling roofs. This
No.
this isn't, a life-changing event. Well, I guess it could be depending on if you got hit by a hurricane.
The point of it is like it's not a lot of work. The years that I made the most money, I worked the least amount of hours ever. There were years I crushed it and worked 10 hours a week, multiple $1,000,000 as a rep, worked on average 10, 20 hours.
I need to get into
But
home
it's
sales.
systems, right? But
Systems,
it's
yes,
systems.
systems. Make your
It's
life
knowing
easier.
it's how do you make a system, right? And people say systems and processes. You probably hear it all the time with we need new systems and new processes. Okay, tell me what a system and a process is. Go.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
what's a system? What's a process? You don't even know the difference. Why do you say you need new systems and process? What you need is a coach. You need someone to help you think through what you need. Do you need a new process or do you need a new system? Or do you need a combination of both?
Yeah, fair enough. If you could give, one piece of advice to any struggling sales rep today in this business, what would you say?
I would first ask, where are they struggling? Are they struggling with motivation? Are they struggling not understanding what to do? And then from there, know how to ask the right questions. Because
That's a good
struggling is a
question.
tough thing, right? A lot of
Yeah,
times guys are struggling in sales because not because they're not closing or because they don't have the training. It's because they've got shit going on at home that they don't know how to deal with. And like they just need to like have someone to talk it out and like help them troubleshoot some stuff that nobody's ever really asked them about.
It's a good point.
So
It's a very
I
good
would say
point.
figure out like what is it that a rep needs, and then in order to like you know figure that out, the next step I'd say is find a group. If you're struggling, find a community, find a group, and find a coach to work with. Find somebody that is able to work with you, that can connect to your values, what you want for your life, what you want, what your purpose is for yourself, and go hire a coach. It's the best thing that you could ever do. Money spent in yourself, developing yourself, dude, that's like you can't talk about a better return on investment right there.
Right. Absolutely. Nobody can take that away from you.
No, 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 dude. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on personal development over the years. Like I would do it again and again and again. Like it's just it. Once you realize that you're your greatest investment.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Well, huge thanks to you, Noah Williams, founder of the Home Doctor Sales System. Thanks for sharing how you're helping contractors build teams, perform with purpose and process.
Yes, sir.
If you're in the roofing or home service space and want to see how AI and better systems can help you scale smarter, join the AR Hard Hats Facebook community or find us on LinkedIn. Until next time, you want to give yourself a real quick plug?
Yeah, guys, check me out. My Instagram's NoahWill99. Look up Home Doctor Sales System on Facebook. We also have our own podcast called the Roofer Advancement Podcast. And then we run a network community called the Roofer Advancement Community. Go check it out.
Is that free?
Yeah, the Roofer Advancement Community is free to join.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, good deal.
So free to join. People can get into that. They get to start seeing some of our content. It's free for the next little bit. We're going to start charging about $10 a month for it. All the proceeds of that are going to go straight over to charity, though. I want to
Cool.
make sure people are starting to invest in themselves. The root of everything is you need to invest to grow. Like if you don't invest time, if you don't invest money, if you don't invest something, like you're not ever really going to experience the benefits from it.
Amen.
Pretty cool. David, we'll have to get you on the podcast sometime.
Yeah. Hey, Noah, that was great, man. I appreciate your time. And again, Home Doctor Sales System. Thank you very much.
Let's go. See you, sir.